definitely very nice playing in the top league again. We've had several competitions, national championships over the last years, and the international competition last year with the European Youth Championships, but now this with the World Cup, we're really glad to have the world's best climber here.
And you've got quite a lot coming up this year as well. After we finish here, you've got a lot coming up over the next few weekends. What are you looking forward to over the next couple of weeks?
Well, for me personally, one of the highlights are the 110 kids between 6 and 10 years old on Wednesday afternoon, 21st of May, and they'll be bouldering for 2 hours here on the same walls as these competitors, with a bit bigger holds, but with even a lot more fun than anyone else.
It's great to see that you're encouraging the younger kids to get involved in the sport as well. Is that something that, as a program, you guys have tried to incorporate as much as possible? You're trying to encourage youth climbing in the country?
Yeah, definitely. Maybe not so much in the country, but especially in the region. I think the boulder happening itself, the whole weeks and weekends, they have now a bit of a reputation. It attracts a lot of people, it motivates a lot of people, and I think if we can bring it to the younger generation as well and give them an insight into the sport, then I hope that some strong climber may climb in the future in the World Cup as well.
How popular is it as a sport here? Obviously you have a reputation and a history as a nation for being very much involved in alpine sports, but climbing itself, how well is it received here in Switzerland?
It's very well received. It's not so much a mainstream sport, still not. It happens out in the mountains. I think it's all a bit interlinked, the whole bouldering, the sports climbing, as well as the alpinism. It kind of just they influence each other as well, those sports. But a lot of people do cross over, they do all of it. They do a bit of bouldering, a bit of sport climbing, and climb some of the higher summits that we have around this village.
Is it a growing thing? Do you think that it's starting to gather more following in recent years?
I would definitely say it's a growing thing. It's getting bigger and bigger. The whole outdoor thing now is very big. Everyone who can on a nice weekend or weekday will go out into the mountains. Even if it's for walking or for climbing, it doesn't matter. But people are going out a lot more into the outdoors.
To go from outside into inside again for a moment, what are your specific responsibilities as an event organizer here? What are the things that you're looking for? What are you hoping for from this competition? What are your roles?
I would hope that the competition goes very smooth for all the competitors, that they have a big enough warm-up area, that they have a big enough isolation zone, and it should be smooth for them. The biggest difference, we're safe from the weather in here. The negative point, we don't have the beautiful background with the Eiger North face at the back of the walls.
So your job is basically to just make sure that everything runs smoothly.
Exactly. I fill in the gaps. I run around the whole day, and just everyone's asking me if there's a question. They're usually phoning up or asking me. So I just trying to fill as many gaps as possible and just make sure everything runs as smooth as possible.
And finally, what are some of the big hopes for Switzerland at the moment? You've got a team here, a nice collective of athletes. For you, in terms of you've seen these athletes develop over the past few years, who are the big names that you're going to be watching out for over the weekend?
Well, I would hope that Petra Klingler in the females division will make the finals and maybe even make it onto the podium. For the men, I think it may be a little bit harder. Benny Blaser is getting stronger every year, so I'd hope that he gets through the semi-finals into the finals as well.
Lorenz, thank you for talking to us.
Thanks very much. Thank you for having me here.